Hello everybody, I'm here with a Singer Stylist 7258. The lady said it wasn't sewing and it had some issues and the tension was off and the bottom wasn't sewing correctly. And she has this thing about using metal bobbins. I told her, well, you know, in this sewing machine it recommends, even it says in their book, not to use metal bobbins, because metal bobbins, there's a magnet down here on the bottom that messes up the machine's, you know, how would you say it, but some people still use them, so, you know, I'm not saying she can't use them, but I have the original 15J bobbin it takes. So a regular 15 is too big for it, and what will happen is slowly she'll ruin the plastic insert, which is the casing, and when that happens, she won't be able to buy the part for this machine. So nothing I can do about it. She wants to use metal. The metal will slowly wear the bobbin casing apart until it won't run no more. So she wants to use them. I'm not going to say she can't use them because it's preferred what everybody wants to use. But this is a top feed. I went online to look up because I know Singer, the company Singer Business and stuff, is not being run by American people anymore. It's run by all kinds of people because they went out of business, I think, 12 years ago, approximately. I don't really know exactly. Some people say it was 15 years ago. Some people say it's 12 years ago. I'll stick with 12 years ago because I'm not sure. And I went online to see if this one was still supported in any way, and it's not supported. The stylists and the about 4 or 5 different types are not supported. There ain't very many that are supported by anybody that works with Singer. I know of 2 companies that actually own it. One main company owns the actual Singer name, and then there's the other counterparts of Singer being used by other companies. So we're not going to go into all about that. So anyway, but I recommend any of these computerized sewing machines should always work with a plastic bobbin. I would recommend. That's personally what I would think. But anyway, let's go on and talk about this stylus sewing machine. I like the styluses back in the good old days when they used to make them in the 1950s because they're made more practical. Now, I don't know. I have never cracked this one open because it has a computer in it that will wipe the computer, and they don't make this computer information anymore on this, so I can't really open it all the way up. I can basically open this and the bottom section down below, right through here. Other than that, I wouldn't really open it all the way up because who wants to wipe a computer? I'm only a mechanic. I don't know too much about these things. Anyway, so we'll go over a little bit about the sewing machine. This is an old spool, so you always want to run it from the back. And then you want to, and there's arrows that lead you through this, and you want to hook it in here and then hook it right here. When you get here, okay, because your tension's being run through here, you don't want to go through that until the foot is in the highest position. So put your foot up, okay? When you open that up, that opens that chamber. There's a chamber down in there that will receive the thread. If the thread is not being received in the tension, it won't come out right, okay? So you want to make sure that's up, so that will go in there, okay? And it comes down and then around. You follow the arrows. Here's your uptake. You go all the way back around this way and this way to make sure it gets hooked in the uptake. Uptake comes down here, okay? And then there's a little hook up here. I can't get the hook up the hook because it's been bent. And I don't usually bend these things back because you can actually damage the hub, and I don't want to touch the hub. And personally, I don't want to be messing around with these machines too much. I'll keep them clean, I'll keep them maintained. But when it comes to, you know, fixing a sewing machine in a Singer sewing machine, I really don't fix them anymore. I can fix the basic stuff, you know, like put a new light bulb in, get you maybe a new, if I can still find them, the new bobbin casing. Bobbins, needles, things like that. That's all I support right now. I don't really support Singer all that much because you can't get the parts. You know, if you have parts from another sewing machine like this one, you could fix it. Like, you know, maybe fix the rewinder if the rewinder was messed up. Okay, so then when you want to make a bobbin, you would thread it from here. And now a lot of them are different. You know, some people put them here. I personally will bypass this and circle around this like this and do a crisscross. And then back here, put it through the bobbin, pop the bobbin on, click it this way. And usually that will engage when you hit the pedal. Now this one can be run with a foot pedal, or it could be run on its own. So where you don't have to put the foot pedal attachment on it, you can run it by stopping and going here. Needle up positioning, you went up or down. This is your reverse, and you might have to click it a couple times to get the reverse to go backwards. Sometimes you click them once, sometimes they don't go backwards. So you have to click it again, and then the machine will continue going backwards until you decide you need to click it back off, okay? This is your speed control. She had it all the way over here, but if you're using the foot pedal, you put it all the way here, it won't let it run. If you put it halfway or slower, the foot pedal will actually engage. I don't know why this thing won't engage with the foot pedal right here. I don't know too much about them. I mean, she has a manual for it. Right here's her manual, and it's the basic instruction manual talks about how to run the machine. Now, when you want to select a pattern, when you start this machine up by turning on the button here. All right, where's your button? I'll find it. There's a button. Okay, there's the button. Okay, and then you'll see it comes out 0, 0, okay? And it doesn't have an up or down like the brother do. I really like the up and down. You have to click up until it goes back to 0. So that's the way that works. So you can use and do all kinds of stitches. And this is to teach, this is what you're going to bring this up. Like if you want to go here, it should be set right there. So there's like a marker right there. And when you do this, you want to make it bigger. Does that right? No, that's not right. Let's see here. Okay, these work this way. Okay, so the arrows tell you which way they go. And then you want to go like that. One more. Yeah, okay. And then this way, when you want to run it, you can. To put it in a bobbin, I use plastic to 15J is what I personally know that this thing will like take. You would put your bobbin in here, and it shows you design. So when, like I always say, when you're holding it this way and it's the waterfall coming down, this is the way you drop it in. So you drop it in, then you come this way, and then back this way, and then this way. They're here. These little things here are made a little cheaper than the ones that they were making earlier. So I'm not sure why that is so rickety. Anyway, let me get the foot pedal here. I'll let you hear it. All right, here we go. And it's running and it's stitching, and that's what she wanted it to do. I put a basic cotton. Now, if you want the needle to be down, you push this button here. Oh boy. Position. No, there it stays down. Okay. Then you want to turn it. Okay. So this is a little different than I'm used to. Okay. Make sure it's all sewing correctly. Yep. And I'll go this way a little bit. And you can push that back up to get rid of that red, because I can't stand to look at red ever since I got my eyes fixed. All right. Go this way. There we are. I'm just going to make a, what do you call it, a musical note. I always do this sometimes just to be fun. And you can see it's stitching really well. I always like playing around with sewing machines just to make sure they're doing their job. Okay, so I made myself a musical note. And yes, it's still stitching perfectly. It feels great. I checked it out with, different types of stitching. It looked like it skipped there because I was forcing it. Don't try to pull your fabric through, because when you do that and you force it, let the machine do the work, okay? I always tell people, don't force your machine. Let the machine pull it through. Whenever you try to pull it through yourself, you will skip stitches because the machine's confused, okay? But other than that, the machine is running really well. The only thing I could figure out, let me see if I can show you, that was wrong is this needle here. I put a brand new needle in. Has a small spur on it. I don't know, you can't really see it, and it's kind of jaggedy. So it's what happens when that happens. It'll grab the material and cause all kinds of issues. And this little right here, I took all the grease. Somebody greased the uptake area. You never grease this area. You always use the clear oil. Let me show you my oil. This is the empty one. Okay, this is the one I use. It's the clear oil. Okay, it's Lily White's oil. Okay, and that's the one I use. When I cleaned that all out, I found it was glitter all stuck in it, and that's what caused this area here not to go up and down correctly. And then after I cleaned it out, I made sure I wiped it clean, make sure all the glitter was out. I didn't see any more glitter. And then I put the Lily White oil in, not this one, because this is the empty one, but it's a clear oil. You can see a little bit on the bottom right there. You see it? But anyway, and I put that in there, and it just seems like it's running fine to me. I don't know. Anyway, so whenever she picks it up later today, she'll have this. And then she said she'd like to purchase the needle. She wanted to get the needles that are made in America. Well, they don't make Singer needles in America, but this one is the original Singer needles, and she has one already in it. She said she'll purchase these because she can't find the original one. She keeps finding them from China. Well, China is making some of the products for this company, well, old company, because some other big company actually really owns them. It's like, I don't really know. I have a guy that used to work on Singer, and he was sitting there explaining to me why and what they're doing and who owns it and all that. And I'm thinking, oh wow. So when I looked it up on Google, it kind of gives you more depth about who really owns Singer. And I'm like, wow. And then all the people that used to work on Singer that I used to go through and had help with them, so they don't do that no more. They won't work with Singer because Singer's not Singer no more. So I don't know what that means. And so, the people that own it, there's several companies that own Singer now, so I really don't know too much. And, I mean, I'm not putting the brand down, okay? I mean, the older Singers, the older ones back in the 1930s and older than that are really fantastic sewing machines. The ones they start developing later, they start going downhill, and I don't know, just it's like everything else. Kenmore was a really, really fantastic company, and then suddenly out of the blue, when they sold out, it all went downhill. So, the last Kenmore sewing machine was the little Alt-Trace, little tiny sewing machine now that Janome owns, and they went and they did their own sewing machine. Looks just like it. It's like a total repeat, and then just put Janome on it. So it's just the way things go. I think there's only like 3 sewing machines now made in America now, and they're all industrial, which is fine. So I have an industrial sewing machine, and I love it. So, but and I've done videos on that one, so it's really a nice sewing machine. But anyway, I want to know if you have a sewing machine like this, a Singer Stylist sewing machine, and where'd you get it? I know you can still buy them, but if you go look on Google, it says that they're not supported no more. So be careful what you buy nowadays, because it means if it's not supported, if your computer goes out, you're really kind of screwed because nobody has the programming for it. And I don't know how to find that. So don't ask me where do you find the programming so I can download it. I don't know because I don't know how to find that kind of stuff anymore. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you like the video, and I hope you get something out of this video. And I'd love to hear from you. Like the video and tell me what you think about the stylus. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.